Hi, Jason's listeners. Welcome back to Jason Translation YouTube channel. So, we're coming back to you with a new video. Kali ini, kita akan berikan kalian kosakata lebih banyak lagi. Dan kita akan masuk ke ranah yang lebih spesifik berkaitan dengan kesehatan. So, kita akan ungkap beberapa kosakata, penggunaan kosakata tertentu, baik itu dari British English ataupun American English untuk istilah medis dan juga kedokteran. So, are you ready? Alright, let's get started. Yang pertama, dokter spesialis pemberi obat bius sebelum operasi. In American English, we call them anesthesiologist. Okay, anesthesiologist. Sebenarnya dalam bahasa Indonesia kita sebut anestesi, gitu. And in British English, we call them anesthetist. Okay, anesthetist. Lalu selanjutnya, operasi usus buntu. In American English, we call this as appendectomy, and in British, we call this appendicectomy. Lalu selanjutnya, perawat penjaga, biasanya yang sering menghampiri pasien. Namanya siapa ya? Okay, so in American English, we call them charge nurse, and in British, we call them ward sister. Lalu selanjutnya, sindrom kelelahan yang kronis. So in American English, we call this syndrome as chronic fatigue syndrome. And in British English, we call this ME or myalgic encephalomyelitis. And then the following here, perawat ruang operasi. In American English, we call them circulating nurse. And in British, we call them theater sister. Lalu selanjutnya, kematian pada bayi di bawah umur 1 tahun. So, in American English, we call this crib death. And in British English, we call it cot death. Lalu, popok. We say diaper in American English and nappy in British. Bagaimana dengan ruang dokter? In American English, we call this doctor's office and doctor's surgery for British English. Daftar sekarang juga program fundamental dari Josin Online English Course. Program yang akan membantu kamu belajar bahasa Inggris benar-benar dari dasar. Dengan mengikuti program ini, kamu akan dapatkan berbagai macam benefit, mulai dari waktu, sistem belajar, dan juga tutor yang berpengalaman. Tunggu apa lagi? Karena kamu butuh belajarnya saat ini, maka daftar sekarang juga. Info ada di bawah, cek deskripsi. See ya! Lalu, UGD. We can call this emergency department for American English or BE, accident and emergency. Okay, I mean BE here, British English. So usually we call this A and E, accident and emergency. Lalu kemudian, tandu. In American English, we call this gurney, and British, we call this stretcher. Lalu selanjutnya, isolasi. We say an isolation for American English and in a barrier for British English. Lalu selanjutnya, dokter penyakit dalam. American English will say internist, but for British English, we say specialist in internal disease. Lalu selanjutnya, obat bius. In American English, we call this as lidocaine and lignocaine for British English. Lalu selanjutnya, demam kelenjar. In American English, we call this as infectious mononucleosis. And for British English, we call this glandular fever. Lalu selanjutnya, ruang operasi. We call operating room for American English and operating theater for British English. Then, dot bayi. We say pacifier for American English and dummy for British English. Lalu, dokter fisioterapi. We call them physical therapist for American English
physiotherapist for British English. And then the following, menstruation. In American English, we call this as PMS or premenstrual syndrome, but in British English, we call this as PMT, premenstrual tension. Lalu selanjutnya, dokter spesialis masalah kaki. So, yep, we call them podiatrist for American English. For British, we call them like chiropodist. And then the following, periode awal sebelum kelahiran. In American English, we call this as prenatal, and in British, we call say antenatal. Lalu, selanjutnya, spesialis. We call them specialist in American English and consultant in British English. Dan yang terakhir adalah operasi. In American English, we call this surgery, but in British, we say operation. Is this all clear? I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. And if you think that you have more vocabulary in the term of medical, also like a doctor, hospital stuff, just like drop down your comment on the comment box below. Okay? See you again on the next video, and I'm so happy that I cannot wait to see you again and giving you more lessons. See you international and sizable people. Bye then. Bye.